2021 is the second year of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has now claimed more than 4.5 million lives worldwide. The global economy is heavily damaged. The world supply chains struggle with constant disruptions as the virus mutates into new variants. 81 million jobs have been lost in Asia. Poverty has increased greatly across Asia, and people have faced many unforeseen social and economic impacts. The worst affected are already vulnerable members of our society: workers, urban and rural poor, and small-scale food producers who have become further marginalized by the scale of impacts. In Southeast Asia, the pandemic also exacerbated political and social unrest, as seen in the youth-led mobilizations in Thailand, coup d'etat and humanitarian crisis in Myanmar, and the recent political turmoil in Malaysia. In many countries, the COVID-19 state of emergency is a pretext for widespread state violence, human rights violations, and impunity for perpetrators. At the same time, Southeast Asian countries continue to face long-standing problems from before the pandemic. In the Mekong sub-region, a handful of government and companies have monopolized control of the Mekong River that is shared by 6 countries through hydropower dams. Cross-country participations and accountability mechanism for the ecological and environmental consequences faced by the river-dependent communities remain questionable. In both mainland and maritime Southeast Asia, foreign and domestic investment, mega projects, and agribusinesses continue to infest forests, public and community areas, rivers, and water resources. Grassroots, indigenous community, and forest dwellers are often forcibly displaced and deprived of their livelihoods. Community and human rights defenders are subjected to physical and legal harassment when opposing official economic, land and forest concessions, and the environmental conservation policies. Southeast Asia is also a hub of worsening natural disaster caused by the climate crisis and extreme weather phenomena such as severe floods, landslide, droughts, and typhoons. The combinations of concerns shared among people in the region on health and economic insecurity, physical and legal repressions of civic space, and the violations of right to livelihood require critical reflections on rethinking and redesigning ASEAN so that regional cooperations become responsive to the need and aspirations of the region's diverse populations. The Mekong or ASEAN Environmental Week 2021 redesigned ASEAN People's Voices in the World Crisis welcomes civil society, people of ASEAN, and partners from all over the regions to engage in discussions for a just, inclusive, sustainable, and progressive ASEAN, with urgent attentions to public health, human and community rights, the climate crisis, environmental degradations, and economic and social insecurity and instability. Our week-long program offers more than 20 panels and workshops with more than 70 speakers, which will be divided into 3 parts. 1. ASEAN and the world. 2. Crisis and actions. And 3. Redesign ASEAN. Our panel discussions will analyze the state of the world and ASEAN today, in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic and political, economic, social, and environmental challenges faced by the people and the region. We aim to highlight why ASEAN needs to be redesigned, particularly when the pandemic has exposed the flaw in centralized political process, neoliberal policies, and market-oriented economic that have directly denied the people demands for a good life. Redesign ASEAN will combine brainstorming sessions, debate, panel discussions, workshops, open spaces, films, and cultural performances oriented toward innovative proposals for better environments and livelihood and a better ASEAN. The Mekong or ASEAN Environmental Week is a regional platform that facilitates dialogues about the dynamic of development, issues of natural resources, and the environmental, social, and human rights impacts of investment. It is held annually and aims to serve as a platform for people in Southeast Asia, representatives from communities and people's network, civil society, and youth to exchange, analyze, and debate ideas and perspective on emerging issues that affect them significantly and explore possibilities for progressive and constructive change.